But I am excited that Bobby Roode is now back as a fan favorite, apparently, which I am in favor of. I know some people are complaining, oh, it's the latest TNA face heel turn. They've been doing so many of these in the last year. Well, that is true. I mean, we've had so many faces and heel turns in the last number of months with Bully Ray and James Storm and Magnus, and a lot of people have turned face and heel in the last number of months. I understand that. But I think Bobby Roode is probably the most needed out of all of them. Bobby Roode first turned heel in late 2011 after winning the World Heavyweight Championship from his best friend James Storm in one of my favorite angles and feuds in TNA history, going on a feud for the next year over that championship and culminating in a great match at Bound for Glory 2012. But that being said, though, he shined as a heel. I thought he did his best work as a heel. I wasn't really buying into him as a top face in the company back in 2011. I was mentioning to someone that I remember 3 years ago, I was talking to one of my wrestling friends saying, I don't think it's Bobby Roode's time to become TNA champion. A lot of people are pissed that he didn't win at Bound for Glory that year. I was excited for one thing that Kurt Angle retained. I mean, it was in shitty fashion, but I was happy that he retained it because I didn't think Bobby Roode was ready. But with his heel turn, he became the most interesting and one of the greatest competitors in TNA at the time, and it was great to see TNA building the entire company around him for that period of time that he held the championship for, having the longest reign in the history of the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm excited that he's back for one thing. I'm excited that he's a fan favorite because he exhausted all options as a heel. He's done it all. He's been the World Heavyweight Champion. He was Tag Team Champion. He's done a few feuds here and there with Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy and a number of others in the last few years. He's done it all as a heel in TNA. It was time to turn him face. It's unfortunate they can't do a Beer Money reunion now that James Storm is heel, but that was another thing that I was thinking about a couple of days ago that they could do that gets me really excited, that if they revisit that feud, that the tables would be turned this time around with James Storm as the heel and Bobby Roode as the face, and that could be good money feud too. So if they go back to that at some point, I'd be really excited, especially if it was over the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But you have a feud between the two Bobbys, Bobby Roode and Bobby Lashley, over the championship in coming months. I think it could be great. Bobby Roode as a face could be great for TNA. He could be the guy that they build the company around finally. Eric Young was that guy for a while, but like I said, his reign was too short in order to be considered a success. It was fun while it lasted, but people weren't really buying into him as a threat as TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And Bobby Lashley is a much more believable guy as TNA World Heavyweight Champion than Eric Young. So I look forward to that feud developing. Hopefully Bobby Roode or Aries or Samoa Joe, who was long overdue for a championship run, is given the shot to contend for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Hopefully one of those guys, along with James Storm, will be contending for the championship in coming months, going to Bound for Glory. I would love to see one of those guys be the one to take the title off of Bobby Lashley. And hell, if Bobby Lashley's built up as like a monster heel that he should be, then taking the title off of him at some point will be considered a much bigger deal. So hopefully they book him accordingly in months ahead.